Welcome back everyone to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 198, and since we've been talking about baseball, why not talk about first pitches? That is today's topic. It's also called a first ball, so these ceremonial first balls are thrown by the guest of honor to start the game or to mark the beginning of a game. Now, usually these throwers or the first balls are thrown by well-known people such as celebrities. We've even had presidents throw these first pitches or first balls. And I think that for some celebrities, they gain even more popularity because they stand out. They do a good job in throwing the ball to home base, that is, from the actual pitcher's mound. They do such a wonderful job, and they try to be really creative and different. Some of these celebrities look really good in their outfits as well. Someone is going to mention that in today's, I believe it's Alexis, I think. She's mentioned something about that in today's actual story. We'll check it out together. So today we're talking about first pitches, how the ceremonial thrower may be a very, very well-known person or a notable person. Let's talk about that today. Here is Actual Talk. Yes, throwing the first pitch or the first ball or the ceremonial first ball, I can't imagine doing that because I think I would be really nervous, although I think I would do a pretty good job in throwing the ball right at the catcher, that is. Okay, anyhow, Peter's mentioned something about how one of his favorite girl groups, a member of his favorite girl groups actually, had a chance to throw the first pitch at a game, but he missed it, or he wished that he had actually been at the game. And Kelly says, what's the big deal about it? Let's check out the conversation together. Now, here we have Peter saying, recently, one of my favorite girl group members, we're talking about one of these members, went and threw the first pitch at a baseball game. So we often say throw the first pitch, okay? Or throw the ceremonial first ball, okay? Throw the first pitch. So I so wish I had tickets to that game. Okay, he didn't have the chance to actually go to watch that game in person. Now, if you look at the sentence though, let's take a look at the sentence. This may kind of sound unfamiliar to you. You may not be familiar with this structure. Of course, when you have the wish and that clause, when you're talking about something you wished for in the past, of course, you would use the past participle, but it's often omitted and simply just kind of shortened in this way. So he says, I so wish, meaning I very much wish I had had tickets to that game. I had tickets to that game, okay? He's basically saying, I wish I had tickets to that game. I wish I had had the chance to go check out the game myself. Okay? Now, Kelly says, just because they threw the first pitch, see, just because, and then she brings it up into a question. What can you tell from this question? We can sense that she does not really understand the importance of the first pitch. So she's saying, just because they threw the first pitch, what's the big deal? All right? And then Peter explains. He says, well, yeah, you get to see them, and they're kind of out of their element. Now, if you say that you are out of your element, you're not in a very comfortable situation. Okay? Now, you can be in your element, which means you're in a very comfortable situation, but when you happen to find yourself in a situation where you feel awkward or uncomfortable, you could say that you are out of your element. So he's saying, well, they're kind of out of their element. They're not in their comfort zone. These two idiomatic expressions are very similar. Okay? So here we have out of one's element, and here he's saying they are not in their comfort zone. Now, let's take a look at comfort zone. Think of comfort as in comfortable. Zone is an area. So if you are in a comfortable area or a comfortable zone, how would you feel? You would feel at ease, very comfortable, right? But here he is saying they are not in their comfort zone, meaning they are in a situation where they don't feel very comfortable. Perhaps they may feel uneasy or nervous, okay? We'll go over these and practice these two patterns later on, so hold your worries. And then he says they have to get up on the pitcher's mound. They have to step on the pitcher's mound, or they have to get up on the pitcher's mound. A mound, we're talking about that plate that is slightly raised from the ground. Often we see plates on first base, second base, third base, and the home base, and the pitcher stands on a mound as well. So it is an area where the ground is slightly raised up. That's a mound. And they give it all they've got. Give it all they've got, meaning they give it their best shot. They use all their strength to get that ball to the batter. Okay, actually, is it the batter? Ah, yes, there is a batter. We hardly see the batter actually hitting the ball. In most cases, we see the catcher catching the ball, right? Okay, so he is talking about how he had wished that he had gone to the game to watch one of his favorite members of a girl group throw the first pitch. Here we go. Now, Kelly says, actually, we did a filming recently on a baseball diamond. And I was surprised how far that is. Now, we're talking about a diamond. We're talking about the infield area, okay? The area where there is the first base and the second base and the third base, and I believe the home plate. So the positions played by first, second base, and third base, and shortstop, that is. We talked about shortstop the other day, right? So she's talking about that area. It looks like a diamond kind of, right? And she says, I was surprised how far that is. Yep, Peter says, yeah, that's right. That's incredible. I'd never quite understood the significance, the importance behind that first pitch. So here she goes again. She's saying, you know, I've never really understood. I never really understood the importance or the significance of that first pitch. Once again, what's such a big deal about it? What's the big deal about the first pitch? I never understood that. But I know that it's a very well-documented one. If you say that something is well-documented, you are saying that it is commonly talked about or it is actually recorded. Okay, well documented. Barack Obama's done it. Who else? Park Geun-hye has done it. And she says, which still really blows my mind. We went over blow one's mind. It's just another way or a fancy way of saying very surprising. It's very hard to believe. It's amazingly surprising. Okay? Sure. And everyone wants to be asked to throw that first pitch. Everyone wants to be asked to throw that pitch, meaning everyone wants to throw that first pitch. And almost everyone, they wish, oh, I wish they would ask me to throw that first pitch. That's what he is saying. And she says, I know. Now, it has not got any significance to that actual result of the game. Here we go. Point is, it has not got any significance or relation to the actual result of the game. So he's once again talking about that first ball, okay, or that first pitch. He's saying it doesn't really have, a relation. It doesn't really have a significance to the result of the game. It's totally separate from the game. Moving on, but he says, it just adds a bit of. It adds a little bit of what? Glitz and glamour to the occasion, I think, or to the game or the occasion. So we have glitz and glamour here. Now, glitz and glamour. This is an expression that's used together, glitz and glamour. It's used together very often like this. But if we break up these two words, glitz can be something very fancy, okay? Glitz, like glitter. Glitter sparkles. It's very shiny, right? So glitz can mean something very luxurious, something very elegant, something that sparkles like jewelry. So that's glitz. And glamour also means something that is very luxurious or sophisticated, expensive. Don't just think about a female's body with volume. Now, glamour can also mean something that is sophisticated or luxurious even. So he is just saying that it adds the first pitch, like a celebrity throwing the first pitch, can add a bit of glitz and glamour to the occasion. He's talking about, adding something special to the occasion, okay? Making it a little bit more exciting. And then he says, they've got all these celebrities lined up, wanting to do it. So we're talking about who? Celebrities lined up, wanting to do it, meaning wanting to throw that first pitch. Now, if you say that you have people lined up, okay, you're saying that people are standing in a line. It's very simple. In this case, he means there are so many celebrities standing in line, not actually physically standing in line, but he is just trying to emphasize the vast number of celebrities wanting to throw that first pitch. It means there are so many celebrities wanting to do it. And depending on how you throw it and how you look in a baseball outfit, you can get even more popularity after that, This is exactly what I mentioned too. Even if it's not a very popular celebrity, if he or she does a wonderful job for whatever reason, he or she may really stand out and become really popular from that very first pitch of a baseball game. Well, she says, I'm sorry that you missed that one. One meaning that game, okay? But there's a lot of baseball yet to come in the future. He says, well, if they ask you to do it, he says, be a first pitch, please invite me to the game. And she says, I will. And I'll make sure that you have VIP box tickets, meaning I will make sure that you get to go in one of those sky boxes. And of course, here he says, oh, sure, then I'll be there with bells on. We've got with bells on. If you say that you go somewhere with bells on, you are saying that you are more than enthusiastic. You are more than willing to go. You're more than excited to go, okay? This expression is usually used in American and Australian English, and it just means that you do something with a lot of interest and enthusiasm. Okay, then, that is a wrap for today's actual talk conversation. Let's take a listen to it one more time. Welcome back, everyone. It's time for actual expressions. Let's take you straight into it then. We've got mound. Now we're talking about baseball, so I'm sure you know what a mound is. If you are a baseball fan, mound, we're talking about the pitcher's mound. It's also called a hill, okay? So often you will see a raised ground area where the pitcher throws the ball, and that is called the mound or the pitcher's mound. Now, diamond, we're talking about a baseball diamond, or even infield. Remember, we're talking about an area on the baseball field, the infield area that looks like a diamond, okay? Moving on to significance. We've gone over this word several times, but, okay, always practice. It's not any bad to go over words over and over again. It means importance or consequence as well. Now we've got well documented. As you see, stress goes right there, well documented, recounted or widely recorded, okay? Now glitz, glitz. The pronunciation is glitz, glitz, okay? It means flashiness. Remember I said something that sparkles and shines? So we're talking about that flashes. Flashiness, also sophistication or showiness and sparkle as well. We've got glamour as well, okay? It's not glamour, it's glamour, glamour. 2 syllables, glamour. We're talking about something that is luxurious, or we're talking about charm, fascination, and appeal as well. Okay, now let's move on to our patterns for today. To be out of one's element. You're out of one's element. It means that you are in a rather uncomfortable situation, okay? It's typically used with to be out of one's element or to get out of one's element, so keep that in mind. Here is a sample sentence. As an introvert. What is an introvert? A person who is rather shy, who's not very good at expressing his or her feelings or thoughts, okay? Opposite of extrovert. Now, as an introvert, I was completely out of my element at the social party. At the party, simply put. So usually introverts, okay, shy people, they have a hard time meeting new people and mingling with people they don't know at places such as parties. So you could say this. If you felt a little uncomfortable at a party or a certain place, you can say, as an introvert, I was completely out of my element at the party. Okay, here we go with comfort zone. A comfort zone is an area or zone or a situation in which you feel at ease, where you feel comfortable. So let's check out a sentence. Stepping out of my comfort zone was a huge challenge. Stepping out of your comfort zone can be a huge challenge. I think often maybe parents can tell, their children that tend to only do things that they feel comfortable about, that only want to, do part-time jobs or look for jobs that they know they are good at. So sometimes you may say to your friend or even your children, you know what, step out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself. Try something different. Yeah? Okay. So here we have that, and we've got another sample sentence for you. This one will help you understand better. When traveling, I like to go out of my comfort zone. Here, go out of my comfort zone to try new food. Okay? It means when traveling, I like to experiment. I like to try new foods. So, when traveling, if you like to try all different kinds of foods, you can say, I like to go out of my comfort zone to try new food. Okay, let's check out one more pattern for today. Line up, line up. It simply means to stand in line, okay? Or if you have people lined up wanting to do something, it could mean that you have a lot of people wanting to do that. Here is a sample sentence. So many people were lined up for the concert. In this case, it could mean that there were many, many people standing in line to enjoy the concert. One more time. So many people were lined up for the concert. Okay, it means to wait in line or even to arrange in or to form a line. That is a wrap for today's actual expressions. Job well done, everyone. So that's exactly what I was talking about. In the beginning of today's lesson, I did mention that Alexis mentioned something about the first pitch that was very impressive. I was impressed by that first pitch too. I don't know how she did it. Anyway, let's check it out. Now, she says, the ceremonial first pitch is a long-standing tradition of American baseball. Long-standing, basically meaning it has existed for a long time, since a long time ago. So it's a tradition of American baseball in which the guest of honor, we have the guest of honor here, the guest of honor, which is basically an honored guest that throws the first ball to mark the start of a new game. Now, we have this expression here, mark the start of something, or to mark the end of something. It just means to start something or to end something. So she's saying there's something called a first pitch. It's been around for a long time in American baseball, and it's where the guest of honor or an honored guest throws the first ball to start the game. Okay, here we go. Typically, this guest of honor stands on or in front of the pitcher's mound and throws to home plate. Okay, that's where the catcher sits. Usually the guest of honor is some kind of celebrity, former player, not anymore, but former player, and dignitary. We're talking about a very high-ranking person, a dignitary. Okay, and moving on to one final sentence. The most impressive, we're talking about the most impressive first pitch that I've ever seen would have to be the one thrown by Korean gymnast Shin Soo-ji during the Tusan Bears game. I don't recall which game it was, but I guess it was one of the Tusan Bears game. But wow, she did do a wonderful jump. She kind of did a flip or something, which was amazing. Yes, that was one of the most impressive first pitches that I've seen as well. Okay, thanks Alexis, and job well done. So how did you enjoy today's lesson? We talked about first pitches or the first ball or the ceremonial first pitches that guests of honor throw to mark the beginning of the game or the start of the game, that is. Of course, we have once again dignitaries, also celebrities, and lots of well-known people throwing the first pitches. One of my friends, she's not really popular or well-known. She's not a celebrity, but she actually did travel to Busan. This was last year to throw the first pitch. I was so jealous. I missed it though. Didn't have the chance to catch it. Anyhow, hope you had a good time with us and learned a lot, but most of all, had a good time, a fun time with me as we talked about baseball and first pitches. Now, I do want to make something clear before we move on so that I don't get you even more confused. In today's actual talk, I did slip and say past participle, but there was a part where, let's see, Peter said that he so wished, he said, I so wish I had tickets to that game. But actually, you would actually use past present tense when you're talking about a wish of the past, okay? So you can say, I wish I had tickets to that game. I wish you hadn't said that, okay? So please do keep that in mind. Sorry for confusing you. Okay, well, in the meantime, what you can do is come to our home page. But, quickly, our topic for our next lesson is this. A place that we often go to, a place we find everywhere in Korea, especially at baseball stadiums or sports arenas, places we go to get drinks and food. They're called concession stands. Wow. Korea is, food haven. You can pretty much buy everything you want at these concession stands. So we'll talk about that next time. Finally, in the meantime, what you can do is come to our homepage. Come on over to www.ebse.co.kr and look for Actual English with Jennifer. If you have any comments you want to post up, feel more than free to do that. Questions? Why not? And leave your feedback as well. Okay, we'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Okay, that is a wrap for today's lesson, everyone. Take care until next time, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.